It's not staying on. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Algonquin Highlands is located on Treaty 20 Mississauga territory and in the traditional territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. We also acknowledge a historical shared presence of other Indigenous nations throughout the area. We recognize these original inhabitants as the stewards of its lands and waters since time immemorial. Could I have a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda for today? Deputy Mayor Dayu and Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, seconded by Councillor Richards. Be it resolved, the October 19th, 2023 agenda be approved as circulated.
All in favor? That's carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof today? Hearing none. I have no specific remarks today. Could I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes of October the 5th? Councillors Richards and Deputy Mayor Dayu.
Moved by Councillor Richards, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dayu. Be it resolved that the October 5th, 2023 regular and public meeting minutes be approved as circulated.
All in favor? That's carried. We have no public meetings, no delegation. We have the building and bylaw enforcement month-end report. However, Mr. Moore is not here today. So are there any questions on that report? Could I then have a mover and a seconder to receive the report? Councillors Richards and Deputy Mayor Dayu.
Moved by Councillor Richards, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dayu. Be it resolved, Council receives building bylaw report BLDG 1923 regarding monthly activities submitted by Greg Moore dated October 19th, 2023.
All in favor? That's carried. Next up is Parks and Recreation. Good morning, Mr. Card.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
So any highlights you would like to give us on your month-end report?
Happy to report that the Lower Fletcher Lake Landing, also known as Skin Lake Landing project, has been completed. So things went fantastically with that, and it really looks great there. We're just working through surveying of the Russell Lake Landing at Kawagama Lake to start putting together considerations for that as a proposed next priority. And that's one piece to the puzzle to move towards that. We have been removing docks since after Thanksgiving throughout the township, as is our usual practice, and that will continue into the next week. A number of them have been removed. We just have a couple more left to do up at Skin Lake and at Kawagama Lake before the end of the month. As we approach the end of the season for tennis, pickleball, residents can expect that as temperatures start dipping below freezing, we start seeing ice forming on the courts. We'll be watching for that, and that's when the courts would close. We have the flexibility to be able to respond to that quite quickly rather than saying a hard date for closing. And then I've been working on development of design plans for the outdoor accessible pathway at the Oxtongue Lake Community Center. That's something that was planned and scheduled. So we've done some measurements, and I've been putting some design plans together that have to go to the Joint Health and Safety Committee, and then council will be able to see for consideration as well before going ahead with that. And then we have just gotten through our final weekend of fall color traffic management at the tower. So our typical busy weekends have all come to an end. I commend staff for an excellent job there in managing large traffic numbers. Of course, we had the same process in place this year with our ticketing system, and it worked fantastically. I think next year there's going to be some opportunities to expand that into beyond just weekends and into the rest of the week. So we'll be looking at that next year. But those are the highlights.
Questions for Chris? Deputy Mayor Dayu?
No questions, just a few comments that I sped past the tower a few more times that I would have otherwise wanted to on those weekends, just unavoidably having to be on the road. And it looked like it was being managed really beautifully. So great job, kudos. And I'm glad we're still picking up lessons from that and refining as we go. And same with Skin Lake Landing. I was there just a couple of weekends ago, and it looked beautiful, really blended into the environment. It looked like it looks new, but not in a modern way. It looks clean and fresh and just works. So great job. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
I did have a couple of questions under docks and landings, the Red Pine Lake Landing and a possible request for funding from Dysart. Is that a standard?
This would be the first time. That is not a dock that's within our township. However, it is used as an access point for the Halliburton Highlands water trails. And I've been made aware by my counterpart there who takes care of their docks that they're looking to replace that. And asked me for some insight on that with my experience in doing some recent docks and landings projects, and at the same time said that they'd be looking to make a formal request at a later date once they pin down kind of project specifics for some funding from our township.
It's interesting. CAO?
I just want to add we have a number of ratepayers on Red Pine, not only our access to the water trails, but we also have ratepayers.
That'll definitely have an impact on the decision. Okay, I just kind of thought that was a little bit different. And I wondered about whether or not you've been hearing any concerns about the Heron Landing parking area for snowmobiles.
Through you, Mayor, I'm glad you brought that up. We have had the opportunity, myself and Public Works, to go there and look at some options for this winter. And that's following a delegation the council received this past spring about some things that were noted as concern. One of them being trailers turning around in residents' driveways and not having a turnaround area if the parking lot's full, or even just if people decide not to park there. So I've been speaking with the association and come up with a plan with Public Works to move the trail out the back of the parking lot, which will make it that snowmobiles don't have to go up the road, and then allow us to create a turnaround and groomer only spot. But what I'd like to do is, once we get all of that finished and in place and we have some updated signage, is just bring that information back to council so they can see exactly what was done. But outside of that delegation from the spring, I've not received any new concerns.
Yeah, I had heard that there's at least one party who's quite concerned about it still, but I don't know that that's necessarily something that's others are agreeing with. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I'm glad you're looking at it. Any other questions or comments for Chris? Could I then have a mover and a seconder to receive his report? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, second by Councillor Richards. Be it resolved, Council receives report PRT 1823 regarding monthly activities submitted by Chris Carr dated October 19th, 2023.
All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Oh, next up is environmental business. Starting with your monthly report. Good morning.
Good morning. We've already seen some of the results of work done in September with the Hawk Lake options report. That was a big project underway in September, and happy to say that the scale installation at Maple Lake, we've signed, or the agreement was put in place for that, and that contract awarded. And if you've been in there recently, you've seen that ground has been broken, so getting that underway. There was some preparation in September to get ready for winter hours, which just started on Monday. We had a site meeting with Public Works and operators just to review our winter operations and plans for the next year there. And then September 23rd, we had the hazardous waste event at the Dorset transfer station, and a fairly typical turnout for that event.
I'm getting lots of positive feedback about the Maple Lake landfill and how much easier it is to use, and people are pretty happy about it, with the possible exception of additional traffic on North Shore Road. But I mean, we knew that that was coming anyway. Rave reviews on how it's working. Any questions on the activity report? Deputy Mayor Dayu?
Just another comment, really. It never ceases to amaze me how much hazardous waste we can get out of one of our sites. From Dorset alone, 678 kilograms of paint, 930 kilograms of flammable liquid or fuel. I mean, it's incredible from one site. And thank heavens it's not landing in our landfill.
Could I have then a mover and a seconder to receive the activity report for September? Councillors Richards, Deputy Mayor Dayu.
Moved by Councillor Richards, second by Deputy Mayor Dayu. Be it resolved, Council receives report EB 2623 regarding monthly activities submitted by Melissa Murray dated October 19th, 2023.
All in favor? That's carried. Next is the Recollect Waste Wizard Agreement.
Thank you. So Recollect has been purchased by a larger company, Rootware, and as a result of that, we had to sign a new agreement with them. Terms and everything are the same as the old agreement, but obviously with the new company, and there's been no increase in costs or anything like that, and that's a shared cost with all 4 municipalities in the county.
Any questions on that? Could I then have a mover and a seconder to receive the report and concur with the recommendation? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, second by Councillor Richards. Be it resolved, Council receives report EB 2723 regarding Waste Wizard agreement submitted by Melissa Murray dated October 19th, 2023. And the council approves a new agreement with Rootware for the provision of an annual multi-community Waste Wizard application, and the council directs a bylaw be tabled authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement to the satisfaction of the environmental manager and CAO with Rootware for provisions of an annual multi-community Waste Wizard application.
All in favor? That's carried. And I see that the agreement with the Rose Scale for the waste scales is under our bylaw section. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next is Public Works. Morning, Mr. Thorne.
Good morning, everyone.
So first, report on how things are going at the Dorset Rec Center.
It's very busy. So the contractor has been in there and has cleaned up all of upstairs and has made it completely mold free. They're still working downstairs on removing the mold and cleaning. On the exterior, they've started demolition on the interior of the basement as well. On the exterior, the contractor is on site. Everything's been fenced off for safety, and they've started to remove the material around the foundation and started prepping the wall for the water membrane. So it's been pretty busy up there, but everything keeps going, forward. Internally, the project manager is up there quite regularly, taking pictures and putting those back to our communications coordinator to get out to the public so they can see that the work is being consistently moving forward. In addition to that, also internally, we have had quite a few meetings with the contractor, the designer, on different layouts and different things that we're doing or potentially doing at the DRC too. So that's been great. Working through that, the new facade for the front of the building and a couple other projects that we're working on there. So it's been very busy, but everything's been positive and keep moving forward.
I just kind of wondering what your thinking is about the different layouts Does that mean reconfiguring rooms in the building or?
No, so we're looking at the the AODA requirement for the bathrooms. So that's the layout that we're talking about, that I'm referring to.
Well, it's good for everyone to see that there's lots of activity there. I know that it's reduced the angst levels in Dorset. Angie,
I just want to add as well that council will see coming forward the facade, the exterior facade recommendations. So that'll be once we've narrowed down a couple of designs, then we'll bring that forward to council for approval. As well as there's a couple of other things, the AODA design, as well as there's some interior recommendations that council will need to approve. So
Yeah, and if I can, to give a little sneak peek or a little teaser, is that we're pretty excited for the facade on the outside. The CAO and staff have really worked hard on putting something together for this, and like I'm really excited to show council this, because it's really going to change the front of the building should council choose. It's really going to change the front of the building and what people will see when they roll up to it. So it's really exciting. I'm excited, as you can tell.
get out.
Like when we were talking about it, and then all of a sudden the light bulbs started, turning on, and seeing what could be done there for the public. It's pretty exciting.
So this is particularly the front of the building?
That's correct. Yep.
Because I know that one of the things that had been talked about with the cultural committee was a possibility of some kind of mural on the building. Now, the thinking, I think, had been on the back of the building so that it could be seen from the highway, but that's another discussion.
Yeah.
Just to put the two things. So yeah, it's really exciting. Well, we're excited about seeing those options. Any questions on the rec center? Deputy Mayor Dayu.
So the bathrooms, will that go through the joint accessibility committee at the county as well, just for a little look-see? Is that the process there?
That's correct. The engineering firm that has been brought on board to look at the bathrooms and the installation of a universal bathroom will all be brought forward to the accessibility committee. Yep.
Great. And
Go ahead.
and a little follow-up there. So with regards to the little tweaks internally that you were referring to, Angie, we had discussed previously about a possible library space. Is that part of your thinking? Okay, that's great. So I've got an update further on in the agenda on that as well for library board.
Okay, well, we look forward to that.
Thank you.
Any idea about completion dates or any further? I'm just going to ask that every time we talk about it. Are we still talking about the year end?
Yeah, everything seems to be on schedule. We haven't had any setbacks, any great deal setbacks. So we're still pushing for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were talking like January, sometime in January.
Go ahead.
We made it clear to the contractor the importance of snowball. So we are working very hard at that date. Pending anything outside of our control.
Okay, I just, I know that the rec committee would like to, start thinking about what we might do as a special event, given that, but I don't want us to get too carried away until we really do know that we're going to be able to do that. It's exciting. Okay, then on to your monthly activity report.
So I'd like to keep that excitement going. I wasn't here for the last meeting, unfortunately, so I don't know if what was brought up, and I'd like to just jump right into the airport committee and the airport, the fly-in that we did. That was absolutely amazing. I was completely surprised at the turnout and how well everything went. I knew it was going to go well. I just wasn't expecting how well it was going to go. So a huge shout out to the committee for their efforts that they put into it. I know I've said this multiple times to them, but it was amazing. If they did that in 6 weeks, you know, what can they do in 8 months? So it was a great day between the public works equipment being there all cleaned up and the kids being able to see it, the fire trucks, every other person that was there with equipment and showcasing the vintage cars and planes that came in. It was by far the best one I've ever been to. And the weather was perfect. We all got sunburnt, so it was great for a fall day. And I just wanted to say thanks again for council support and for what our committee did.
What you said, I mean, I probably said pretty much what you just said at our last meeting. It just was a wonderful day, you know, all around. And there was so much, like, it's just great to see a committee work that hard and be that successful in that period of time. Yeah, it was a superb event, and I really look forward to planning some more events for next year.
Yes,
Hold
myself
on to
as
your
well.
hat.
Yep. Other than that, for the monthly report, there's it's basically a normal season so far. Thankfully, we're getting projects knocked off the list, and we're just working away on seasonal projects. So a little bit of ditching left over, getting some seasonal equipment switched over, getting ready for winter, things of that nature, but status quo.
If you wouldn't mind putting that down. Any questions for Adam on his monthly report? Good work. Could I have a mover and a seconder to receive the report? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, second by Councillor Richards, be it resolved. Council receives report PW 2523 regarding monthly activities submitted by Adam Thorne and dated October 15th, 2023.
All in favor? That's carried. Finally, green burial. And I see we have a set of minutes. Any comments that you want to make about green burial committee?
No, I think I'll leave that up to the council member.
Nothing substantive at this stage. I think that the real conversation is going to come in November when the staff report comes back. So really what's in the minutes? And I guess a reminder, council absolutely knows already, but the committee is very keen to see if council would be able to make a decision on winter burial at the same time as green burial, so that when the BAO bylaw gets opened up again, we might be able to wrap everything in together rather than going through that multi-step process time and time again. So if we could just keep that at the frontal lobe, that would be great. And everything else substantive will come next month.
Well, we look forward to that. I understand that Mr. Moore might be making a delegation on behalf of the Green Burial Society.
I think that's in consideration. Yeah, I'm not sure if, we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I guess, you know, when we looked at initial discussions about the committee's work, that we agreed that we would, you know, deal with green burials and put that to bed and then move forward with winter burials. And I'm not sure, you know, how much discussion has taken place or whether that's sufficient to respond to all of the concerns about winter burial. So I guess we'll see what's brought forward to us. Go from there. Look forward to having that discussion in a fulsome way. So could I then have a mover and a seconder to receive the minutes of July 31st? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, second by Councillor Richards, be it resolved, council receives the July 31st, 2023 Green Burial Advisory Committee meeting minutes for information.
All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Next up is fire service. Good morning, Chief.
Morning, Mayor and Council.
So any highlights you'd like to give us on your monthly report?
Definitely. We have the closure has for the request proposal for fire master plan has been closed. It's been evaluated by the county procurement coordinator and 3 have advanced in the process. So we have 3 going to the evaluation process. So hopefully we'll have something in the near future brought forward to council for the fire master plan.
So the submissions were only reviewed by the,
No, the original, to make sure that they met the standards, they met all the qualifications of the original proposal put out, and then now they're forwarded to our evaluation committee, which will consist of the 4 fire chiefs to evaluate, along with the input from the county procurement official, just to make sure it's all done proper.
are all 4 municipalities proceeding?
At this point, under my understanding, all 4, the proposal went out as
4.
winner takes 4. It's no individual parts on it, so hopefully it will proceed that way.
Because I'm not sure that Minden Hills are proceeding, so I wouldn't expect, if they're not going to participate, that they would participate in the review.
Right, they have been in the original request proposal, they are included in it. So I can't comment on that.
No, that's their concern.
Yeah.
Any questions or any other highlights you'd like?
Yeah,
to
there's a
bring?
couple of quick highlights here. Adam took the part about the fly-in at the airport. It was great. Our members of Station 80 were there, and they love being involved in the community. So again, it was a great event. I just want a quick shout out to our communications officer. I know Chad's worked hard. He was really good at getting stuff on all of social media for the Saved by the Beat for fire prevention, and he's been a real asset for us. And the last item is we took delivery yesterday of our new UTV that'll be located at Oxton Lake. The district chief Tim Feld and acting Captain Dayu were there and saw the vehicle, and the look on their faces was priceless. So I will put some pictures together and send them to council to see of the vehicle. Other than that, any questions?
I wondered about the progress, or any plans that you have for the what appears to be a training area on McPhail Road.
Right, so we did budget in this year's budget to put the training ground in McPhail Road. It's all pending how the McPhail Road property project goes, because they're using that as a staging area for all the gravel and all that stuff. So twofold, it helps them, but also prepares a lot of the property for us with the gravel and that. So when they're all done that project, we'll proceed with that. So we have a little bit of prep done, but at this point, it's going to go on into next spring.
Okay. Any questions? Could I then have a mover and a seconder to receive the chief's report? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, second by Council Richards. Be it resolved, council receives fire service report FD 1623 regarding monthly activities submitted by Michael French dated October 19th, 2023.
All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
You too. Next up is finance. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
So the first is your item is your tax write-offs. A lot of money.
Yes, it is. And actually, funny enough, this one's actually one of our own properties. It's was incorrectly coded as residential tax class and should have been exempt. So it was an expensive property.
Wow, big loss. Any questions? Can I have a mover and a seconder then to approve that? Councillor Richards and Deputy Mayor Dayu.
Moved by Council Richards, second by Deputy Mayor Dayu. Be it resolved, council receives report TT 2723 regarding tax write-offs submitted by Karen Mintz dated October 19th, 2023, and the council hereby approves the note of tax write-off in the amount of $29.73 in accordance with section 357 of the Municipal Act.
All in favor? That's carried. Next is the account summary.
And again, through you, Mayor, standard account summary, with the exception of the adding in the levy payments, which is why it's considerably higher than norm. So unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions? Could I have a mover and a seconder then to approve the account summary? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayou, second by Councillor Richards. Be it resolved, council has reviewed the expenditures incurred as set out in the accounts summary report TT 2823, the amount of $2,432,660.45 and hereby approves payment as same.
All in favor? That's carried. Next is the financial summary. I really appreciate this report.
Yes, thank you. Again, I'm doing it on a quarterly basis. I know in the past it wasn't necessarily part, but that we're including it every quarter now. And as you can see, we've incurred nearly 60% of the budget annual operating expenditures and received around 66% of the total revenues for 2023 as of the end of the third quarter. So given the numbers that are before you, I would say that we're in good stead. And I think that all staff have been very diligent in keeping things in tow. So we're in good shape.
Well, kudos to everyone, including yourself,
Thank you.
for keeping us in that particular state. Any questions on the financial summary? Could I have a mover and a seconder to receive it? Councillor Richards, Deputy Mayor Dayou.
Moved by Councillor Richards, second by Deputy Mayor Dayou. Be it resolved, council receives report TT 2923 regarding revenues and expenditures to the end of the third quarter of 2023, submitted by Jean Hughes, dated October 19th, 2023.
All in favor? That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
This may be one of the shortest meetings on record. So next are the external board meetings. So we won't hear anything on the Dorset Partnership or the Health Hub. Anything on the Upper Trent Water Management Partnership.
The next meeting for the Upper Trent is tomorrow. So I'll let you know. And oh, sorry, I got that reversed. The next
So you're
meeting
talking about
for
the Muskoka Water.
Watershed is tomorrow. The Upper Trent Water Management, I think, is really a dormant committee. So
You're hearing nothing.
absolutely nothing. And I think, maybe that's something you should discuss at the county as its future, because unless it's going to be converted to a watershed, I don't think the committee feels like they're doing much.
Well, and then, the county council has talked about, their own watershed group in the past term, and I'm not sure that the existing council have the same level of enthusiasm for that. So it is something that we do need to bring up and discuss. Well, I hope your Muskoka Watershed Council meeting goes well, and I see that they're looking for people to attend their conference next year, which I think is probably a good idea for a number of us to attend. The CPAC committee has not met per se, but I did take part in the interviews for the detachment commander, which was a very interesting process. And I think I've said this before, but to me, for the OPP to ask us to be involved in that process is a really good sign in moving forward and having stronger communications between us. So no bottom line yet on who's been chosen for the position, but I'm sure we'll hear that soon. And next up is the library board. I think you might have some comments, Deputy Mayor Dayou.
Yeah, the brief comment would be that at the last library board meeting, a subcommittee was struck of just a couple of people to start putting some ideas together for what might be proposed to council for a restitution of library services in Dorset. So we've not met yet, but that is forthcoming. So we should have something to offer soon, just in terms of what and who and how, and the why is pretty clear. I just am curious as to who those members might be. If they're from Algonquin Highlands or. Yes, Adela Spina is on, and Andrea, who is the deputy, or not the deputy, but the
Yeah. it's
Deputy
supposed to deputy
CEO.
Director, yeah. And myself, and I believe there's one other person as well who I will have to confirm about the other person. I can let you know. There were a couple of subcommittees struck on that day, and I just don't want to misspeak on who's on this one.
Okay, I mean, the only cautionary note I would make is to stay in close contact with the CAO so that, you know, you're not talking about something that can't happen. We'll look forward to that. Anything on community safety and well-being?
Nothing to note on community safety and well-being. No, I'm sure everyone enjoyed reading the report from last month, and I couldn't improve upon that.
Anything then on the Muskoka River watershed?
There has been one Zoom meeting in the last few weeks. Absolutely nothing to report, given the committee's primary mandate is about the spring freshet. Nothing to say there yet. So the committee will not meet again until February, March, probably late February or so. In the meanwhile, there is an autumn drawdown that is taking place now. And I learned at the last meeting that the autumn drawdown has a lot to do with maintaining consistent levels for fish spawning throughout the winter, so that the winter drawdown doesn't disrupt those spawning grounds. Little fun fact for today.
Thank you. I was just thinking that, you know, it's interesting if you hear the lady who's in charge of the entire system and the details that she provides on how they do the drawdowns and the degree of detail that goes into the management of that whole system is just extraordinary. And she's an amazing individual to have all that information in her head. Okay, anything on Muskoka River watershed? Or
That was
sorry. On climate action plan. Sorry.
Yes, the first meeting has been set, and I'm just quickly going through my agenda, and I can't see exactly when it is, but it has been set and it is forthcoming.
Okay, so we'll be hearing something on that soon.
Yeah.
And I see that I skipped right over the EORN update, and it's my understanding that there has been one application submitted or one proposal for a tower in the Stanhope area, which I believe might be on Buckslide Road. I'm not sure. I've been trying to get information from EORN about, all right, we know you've got more towers coming in the Stanhope area. Can you let me know where they are? Just give us a little bit of advance notice, because there are some people that are, you know, hearing things and starting to react, and you know, I'm not sure that they're reacting to accurate information. So I suspect that might be brought to our next meeting, or maybe one after that. Not sure. Has to go through the process.
It'll be in November, but I can't say for sure which meeting.
So that will be interesting. Go ahead.
I just found it. Climate action is on the 30th of October.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for that. Nothing under general business. Any notice of motion? Were there any support for correspondence? But I understand you've got a comment that you'd like to make. Go ahead.
Thanks. This correspondence came through just before we sat with the Joint Assistance Social Housing. I'm going to get that wrong.
Joint Advisory Committee.
Joint Advisory Committee with the City of Kawartha Lakes and County of Haliburton, on which the Housing Director also sits. And so I did ask I flagged this, I'm sorry, not housing, Early Childhood Education and Child Services Director also sits. So I did flag this piece of correspondence with her and asked what she thought. And she said that in fact, all of those points are well within well known, well within the process of what the provincial government is doing, and in fact, the JAC has and the broader system has already fed some information in with minor tweaks.
to those recommendations. So I didn't think it was appropriate to bring it forward at this time, but we as members of that committee are still involved in taking those concerns forward, which is the important thing.
Okay, thank you for that. So next are the bylaws.
Second to receive correspondence.
Oh, could I have a mover and a seconder to receive the correspondence? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, second by Councillor Richards. Be it resolved, council receives the October 19th, 2023 correspondence listing for information.
All in favor? That's carried. No closed session. So could I have a mover and a seconder to approve the bylaws? Councillor Richards, Deputy Mayor Dayu.
Moved by Councillor Richards, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dayu. Be it resolved, the following bylaws be read a first time, considered read a second and third time, and finally passed with a corporate seal affixed 2023-94 to authorize an agreement with Rose Scale for the supply and installation of a waste scale at Maple Lake Waste Disposal Site. In 2023-95 to authorize an agreement with Root Bear Global for the Waste Wizard app.
All in favor? That's carried. And could I have a mover and a seconder for the confirming bylaw? Councillor Richards, Deputy Mayor Dayu.
Moved by Councillor Richards, second by Deputy Mayor Dayu. Be it resolved, the bylaw 2023-96 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council held during its regular meeting on October 19th, 2023 be received and read a first time, considered read a second and third time, and finally passed with a corporate seal affixed.
All in favor? That's carried. And finally, could I have a motion to adjourn? Deputy Mayor Dayu, Councillor Richards.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Dayu, second by Councillor Richards. Be it resolved that the October 19th, 2023 council meeting is hereby adjourned at 9:41 a.m.
All in favor? That's carried.